Alright, so here we are at our next backtesting session. Now for the ones that are just joining new, this is going to be the multi-pair backtest, right? These are all of the pairs I'm going to backtest. Unfortunately, FX replay is just so unprofessional that I cannot add more. That's like a different thing. So on the daily time frame, firstly I want to check, are we at our right time to trade? Remember guys, every single trade we want to enter is going to start at 0 a.m. I really want to ask myself if we are going for the previous day high or for the previous day low of that current candle, right? Probably going to be for the previous day high since we're already pushing higher. Now also we have taken out liquidity, which are basically all of those relative lows. So most likely we are actually going to trade onto the upside. Let's go to the next pair. What is that looking like? I would also say probably to the upside because we have this massive FEG, which we have not been traded into. A lot of different people like to trade into FEGs and then they like to trade away from them. I do the complete opposite. I like to trade into the FEGs because if you think about it this way, when you have an imbalance in the market, what happens first? The imbalance gets rebalanced, and then from here on, we might as well just go for different liquidity lower or for different liquidity higher. But what's the very first thing that happens out of this entire price action move? We're trading into the imbalance and not away from it. So I rather like to catch the first move of the entire sort of price action instead of the second one. So that is the reason why the bias is also bullish for that one. Now, me marking out the previous day high and previous day low doesn't mean that we're going to take a trade. I am just analyzing the daily bias and looking out for the reasons on why we should push higher or lower in that sense. I'll go into the 4 time frames and then from there we'll actually decide whether or not we're going to take a trade. AUD USD was actually also good. AUD CHF is not looking good because we have already taken out the previous day low. Now the rules go like this. You need either the previous day high or the previous day low identified in order for you to take a trade. If you have not done that yet, and if you don't know that, then you cannot take a trade. And if the previous day high or low has been taken out before the 0 a.m. candle starts, then you can also not take a trade. So next pair, USD CHF. Right, these were some trades that we have taken in previous sessions. Watch them if you haven't yet. So we have relative equal lows in here, established movement onto the downside. Let me go into the weekly time. Let me check it further. Yes, we have already traded into an equilibrium, so that is not additional confirmation. And now we'll just basically go on to every single pair and look for more reasons on why we should take a trade or not. So first of all, that I can already see, we have this FEG which has not been traded back into. This on the 4-hour time frame. So that's already a reason for me why we should trade higher. So on Euro GBP, I am willing to take a trade, but I want to see how the entire trade will be looking like, right? I really care about that. So we can actually decide whether it's a good idea. I'm pretty sure we have already traded into the premium to discount. No, we haven't yet. So if we have already traded into it, then I would have not taken a trade. Since we haven't traded into it yet, we also have imbalance that's higher. I am going to take this position. Now, only thing that is speaking against us is this FEG, but we have one good thing. It has already been mitigated by this entire low. So from here, we're really just going to take it as it is. There is no entry optimization. There's no kind of low that I can put my stop loss in. So we're just going to take the trade as it is, right? 3% risk as always. The win rate of the strategy is so high that you're not going to lose 3 times in a row, right? So you're also not going to blow a prop firm account using this. Now guys, in case you're wondering, how am I going to pass prop firms with this? I have a prop firm passing service. I'll pass your prop firm in 3 days risk-free. In case where I don't pass your prop firm challenge, you'll get all your money back. Not only the fee that you paid the prop firm for, but also the fee that you paid me. This is just going to ensure that it's in my best interest to actually pass the prop firm challenge and not just blow it and take the money. We're going to go to year CHF and basically do the same thing. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. Was already looking quite fine on the daily chart as well. Now we have relative equal lows, something that is speaking against us, but the bias is aligning with this entire FEG. And man, we just have to trade into the FEG. I'll be really surprised if we don't, because remember this, the previous day low. We are betting for the trade to hit the previous day high instead of the previous day low. The good thing about this one, we don't even have to hit the previous day high in order for our take profit to be hit. So that's a good thing. I am going to put my stop loss below this low. Now this is not really a logical level, but if there is like a candle high or low that I can put it into, then I like to do that, because most of the times, if price really runs that deep into your stop loss or into your drawdown, then I might as well just go lower and even go for previous liquidity such as in here. So this is why I like to optimize it at least by a little bit, and goes a long way. We also have this entire FEG, which is also a BPR if you look closely, right? Potentially an entry, but that is already way too much RR that I will be willing to take. So we're just going to take it from here. Market order as always and let it run. AUD USD, how was that looking like? We have the movement onto the upside, we have the relative equal highs, and lately for this entire backtesting session, this has been our pair for the day, right? A lot of the times we are just trading AUD USD lately. In this case, I would be willing to do some entry refinement because most likely we are actually going to trade into this entire FEG, right? Now, our risk to reward is going to be increased by quite a bit, and we're just going to leave it as that. I would be not willing to increase it even any further. We are trading into the previous day high, probably to the relative equal highs that we have marked out right in here, but I wouldn't really want to extend it any further from here. So we're also just going to take the trade as it is, but I want to monitor it because, man, this is just FX for play. If the take profit gets hit before we're going to get an entry, then we're just not going to take the trade at all. We're just going to cancel our limit order. So from here, we are going to go to AUD CHF. This was no trade for us. We have already taken out the premium to discount, so the equilibrium range of this entire move. So I'm not willing to take a trade on that one. We're going to go to AUD CHF, or I mean AUD USD. So many different pairs with so similar names. From here, we're going to monitor it. We got tagged into the trade. Let's see if it's going to be a take profit. That's a take profit. Let's see for the other pairs. That's also a take profit, and that's also a take profit. All right, so starting the session pretty well. We're going to go to the next day, 23 a.m. and we just repeat the same process. Simple as that. Now, if you are still sticking around up until this point, then let me know to you that this will get more advanced and we'll have more niche scenarios. So don't just leave now after hitting the first trade. So what can we spot? We have the previous day high, we have the previous day low. Where are we more willing to trade in? Of course, it's going to be the previous day high. Simple as that. Now let's go to USHF. This is a 50-50 scenario. We don't know if we're going for the low, don't know for the high. If you want me to take a bet, probably for the high and not for the low, but I'm still not going to participate in this. Now we have the premium to discount, which has not been traded into, aligning perfectly well with relative equal highs and also FEG. Usually this is actually a very good setup. The problem is just that we need momentum, such as these two candles, and then I'll be willing to take a trade. Since that has not happened yet, I'm not going to take a trade, right? You have to be disciplined with your decisions. We have not traded into the relative equal highs, unfortunately. That has never happened. And also we have already taken out the previous day high. So we're also not going to participate in that. We need movement. This is a very large candle onto the downside. Now I want you to actually pay attention for this one. Why does this entire thing matter so much? Because the wicks are telling you a story. Price was not able to stick to this specific price point, which also means that most likely buyers are getting control now, right? We had a big sell off lower, but the wicks are telling you we are not able to keep the price in here. So most likely we are expecting a reversal, which doesn't even have to be happening right now, but it's just a low probability day to trade. And once again, we don't know if we go for the low of that candle or for the high. Now you can also, of course, speculate on what is going to happen, but we don't speculate. We like to take decisions based off historic data, previous day low, previous day high. Now this pair in general, if you are just going to look at this from a different standpoint, we have been trading higher, right? So aggressively higher actually. If we're going to the weekly, monthly, there's a big candle, okay? Now we are just aggressively trading lower. The reason for that is because if a price move happens very rapidly, then we'll also very rapidly go the opposite side. Now the problem with that is just that we don't know when it's really going to stop. You see, we have a lot of different imbalances, right? So that is a point for you to trade lower, but we don't know when it's actually going to stop. Is it going to stop right at that FEG, right at this FEG? At that point in time, you couldn't tell if it's just going to stop at this FEG and then from here on continue higher. This is the kind of problem why I'm not willing to take a trade on this entire thing. Now, and even in the case where you be saying we are probably going to go to the downside, watch this. You have an entire BPR range. You have 10 different reasons to trade lower. You have 10 different reasons to trade higher. So that's why I'm not going to take a trade at all. Now, Euro GBP was quite promising. We wanted to take a long onto this one. What I don't like right from the start is this entire FEG in here. We have already traded into it, but out of experience, I already know that we're not just going to leave it as that. We have this massive FEG in here and it just needs to be refilled further. It just can't stay like that, and now we're just trading upwards. Now Euro GBP was pretty much the only pair that we wanted to trade in. Yes, this also 50-50 scenario, this too, and yeah, I mean this as well because of the name reasons before. So Euro GBP is the only thing. Problem is just that if you're having a massive FEG such as in this one, in the previous EURCHF candle that we have just seen in this entire FEG, if you remember, we have actually traded into such a massive FEG. So in order for us to take a trade higher, we're basically doing the opposite of what we just done on EURCHF. This is too massive of an imbalance. It will get refilled. I want to quickly see how the trade will be looking like. I always like to do that to get an estimation. Now the problem here is we are not even able to endure the entire FEG. So let's just say the entire price action will be looking something like this, right? Where 50 pips would be equal to this low. Then I will be willing to take the trade because then we will be able to endure the entire FAG. But since this is not the case, we are not able to endure this entire price action. We're going to extend our entire fib level. We have also not traded into an equilibrium yet. So I'm not going to take the trade just based off the 4 hour chart alone. This will probably go higher because we have the movement, but I'm not willing to take a trade. So we're just going to skip the entire day. And okay, this was most likely this would have been a loss. Let me check it. 0 EM candle. And then from here on, have we moved 10 pips? No, barely even a couple of pips. This would have been a straight up loss. And that's what you have to look out for when you have these massive FGs. Oftentimes, when you are going to avoid a very bad trading day, the market will reward you. With this strategy, I've seen it so many times because now what can you see? Established movement, relative equal lows, and probably there will also not be many reasons on why not to take the trade. We're going to go on USCHF, look for the same reasons. I mean, we still have this FAG. We can't tell if we're going lower or higher. There's a 50-50 candle to me. AUD USD. This is not price action. I would like to participate. I want to see movement onto the upside, and then we can trade into the relative equal highs. Now, these are the external relative equal highs. These are the internal relative equal highs, if you are wondering. AUD CHF, 50-50 candle. Don't even look at it. Don't bother. Yeah, so your GBP is pretty much our only bet. Once again, now in this one we also have a little bit of problems, right? This is also not a perfect scenario that I will be liking to take a trade in. And we don't really have massive FAGs compared to this price action, but we have one FAG, another FAG in here. So at least to one of them we are probably going to trade back into. Let me see how the position will be looking like. We would be able to endure this entire FAG, right? This is what I like about the trade. So if we are wrong, then price would have to go all the way to that FAG most likely. Now, are we willing to take a trade? That's the most important question. I am expecting a pullback right higher. I don't think that we're just going to trade lower. And also we have this little gap in here, which is always appreciated in these cases. I'm just going to base it off of this candle high, and we can definitely also extend our take profit to this entire low if we're already here. We're going to take a trade. Let's see if it ends in a take profit. FX replay is always bugging. Now, speaking of FX replay, because it's just lagging and not a professional platform to backtest on, TradeLens is going to come out with a full backtesting session. And I mean, just look at these candles. They are just looking so clean because they have like a shadow on them, which is just pleasant to backtest on. But it's not only a backtesting platform, you can also journal your trades, which I am personally using for months at this point. If you want a 10% discount on every single purchase, it's in the description down below. From here, we're going to enter the trade. We got hit. Let's just see if this is going to end up in a take profit. Okay, we are at this entire FEG, not looking so well. Let's see how this is going to go. Man, this trade is really getting on your nerves in that one. Okay, from this point on, I'm just going to put it right in here. I don't think there's a point. Okay, this was just a minimized loss. This trade has also been going for a couple of days. It was almost a take profit. You know, what can you do? It was just straight up a loss, but what can you do? So we're going to skip on to the next candle, right? So the next day, which is right in here. And we're just going to continue our analysis. It doesn't matter, guys. One loss is not going to define the entire strategy. So on your GBP, previous day high, previous day low, this is a 50-50 scenario. Can't really tell because the candle is pretty wide from its entire body closure. We're going to go to USCHF, look out for the same things. Now, first of all, the candle rule is not aligning. The previous day low has already been taken out, but the relative equal lows are a very strong contender to trade lower. But since we're just sticking to our rules, we're not going to take this trade. AUD USD is also not looking promising, right? Previous day low, previous day high, can't tell. AUD USD, AUD CHF, also can't tell. And then USD CHF looking actually quite well. We have the relative equal highs. We have an FAG in here. We have an even bigger FAG. We have a lot of imbalances to actually trade higher. 4 hour time frame. I mean, this liquidity will actually be taken out, but I think that we have enough time to hit our take profit. And I don't think that it's just going to happen exactly at this point of time. So I think taking a trade in here is probably fine. Let's look at it again from this perspective when we're actually entering the trade. So in order for us to hit the take profit, we would have to take out the candle high. That's my mindset when going into every single trade. I imagine the scenario, what would happen in order for us to basically hit the take profit or stop loss. So we're just going to base off our entire stop loss at these relative equal lows, which is actually in here, and we're just going to take the trade as it is. Not going to be any entry refinement. The candle is just looking as it is, and it's not really worth it. So this is our only pair that we're going to take a trade on. No. Okay, only USD-CHF. Let's just see. That's another loss that we have taken, man. It's crazy. Yeah, but once again, what can you do? We're just going to go to the next candle open and start our day over. Now that's going to be your GBP. This time I am willing to take a trade because now we are very close onto the previous day high. Yeah, that's basically the main reason why I'm willing to take a trade. In this little bit of price action, the problem is just that we have this BPR. This is why I'm not going to take a trade actually on this entire one. We're going to go to USDHF. Have we taken out the previous day high? No. This is actually looking quite very good. We have taken out liquidity, the relative equal lows. We have relative equal highs above and FVG. Very good to trade actually. Now AUD USD, we have already taken out the previous day high, as you can see on here. And AUD CHF, previous day high has not been taken out. We like to see that. We have the movement higher. USD CHF, how's that looking like? Previous day low, has it been taken out or not? I want to see. No, it hasn't. So that's already also something that we could potentially be trading. Let's go to UGBP. We didn't want to trade it. USCHF was looking fine. 4-hour time frame, already traded into this entire thing. So this is going to be our protective low in that sense. Now our stop loss is not going to reside at the protective low, but it's really good to have. Is there some kind of low that we can base it off from? I mean, at max these relative lows, but this is going to put our stop loss at basically almost 40 pips, which is too far away from 50 pips. So we're not going to do it like that. I can extend my entire entry right at that candle low. Most likely it's going to be hit. Limit order, and we're just going to let it run. AUD USD, how's that looking like? Have we taken out the previous day high? Yes. Now this was the next pair that we wanted to take a trade on. Problem is we have this entire FVG. We have to keep that in mind. So most likely we are actually going to trade into it. This is something that I already don't like. Do we have reasons to actually trade higher? Yes, we have the relative equal highs. They are quite far away, right? So we're not really keeping that as our main confirmation in that sense. But we also have this gap which has not been traded with a body closure. I'm still keeping this as actual confirmation because this is not that far away from our current price action. So we are going to go to the 4-hour time frame and 1-hour time frame and basically take a trade. I mean, we have also this candle low. We're basically just going to put it right in here. There's really a lot of reasons why we should trade lower. So this is going to be our original position. Put it right in here. This candle low. Stop loss is going to remain at this candle low. And it's looking quite fine to me. Now limit order, this trade is actually looking like we're not going to get hit, but we're going to see. Now on USD CHF, what I don't like is that candle has barely any wick to the upside. If we are right on the trade, it most likely will also create an FVG, which I also don't like, because then we have a reason to trade higher again, if you can follow me on that one. Now just ask me in the Discord if you didn't really understand what I just said. So 50 pips, and we have to extend our entire, basically take profit by quite a lot, right? So I'm not going to take this trade. Right? This is too much of an extension. I want to monitor the AUD CHF trade because that's with a limit order. Take profit has already been hit, so we're not going to enter the trade anymore. Happens. And then we had your CHF, we have not been. Okay, that's quite unfortunate. No trade for us because we have basically not hit the limit order, just trade it onto the upside, and yeah, that happens. So we're just going to basically go to the next day. Your CHF is still looking quite fine. We have the relative equal highs, the FEG, so we're also going to take a trade on that one. Most likely your GBP, your previous day low has been taken out, and then on that one I actually like that. We have traded lower. Now this is going to be your established movement. These are going to be relative equal highs and even more relative equal highs, internal relative equal highs, external relative equal highs. FEG onto the daily time frame, even another FEG onto the daily time frame. Equilibrium has not been hit yet. This is quite far away, but it's just additional mini confirmation in that sense. What is speaking against us? We have this entire relative equal low. But besides that, the trade is looking quite all right. We're going to go into the 4-hour time frame. How's that looking like? We have this FEG, of course, not liking it. Still willing to take a trade on that one. So we're going to look how the position would be looking like. So we would have to hit this candle high basically, or trade all the way to the upside. Now I'm probably not going to refine the entry. I mean, especially because we have just lost a couple of opportunities in there. But I mean, it's safe to say that we could actually put it in here. The reason for that is because we have this gap that has not been traded with a body closure. So we might as well just trade lower to create the entire body for that gap, and then we can trade higher. We're going to put it right in here. Limit order. It's going to be our first trade. Your CHF was looking all right. Trade it into this entire FEG. That's something that we like, and we're just going to go to 1-hour time frame. We are going to put our entire stop loss. I mean, there's not really much to base it off from. This is way too little because then it's 40 pips. We don't really like that. So we're just going to leave the trade as it is pretty much. There's not really something that is close by. Yeah, we're just going to leave it as it is. Your CHF now, AUD USD, what about that? No trade, no trade. Yeah, these are basically just our two trades. We're going to monitor this one because this one has limit order. Hit into the trade, let's just see. Take profit. What about USCHF? It's also a take profit. So as usual, we're just going to skip on to the next day. It was basically an not take profit hit. Previous day high, previous day low. Probably for the high. This is probably for the low. AUD USD. No trade. AUD CHF. Oh, pretty good actually looking like. Still not. No trade into the gap. Established movement higher, relative equal highs, internal relative equal highs, external relative equal highs, and even more external relative equal highs. Very good trade to take. I mean, just based off the daily time frame, we have to look into it closer. So we're going to start with Euro GBP. Are we going to trade lower? Now, what I already don't like, as usual, we have this entire BPR range. So we're probably also not going to take this one. USCHF, how's that looking like? Massive candle onto the downside. Also a wick that is also suggesting that we're going to go lower. However, difference for this one, let me actually see what the trade will be looking like. The difference for this trade is that these candles have no candle or no wick onto the upside. This is why I'm still willing to take a trade, right? Usually I wouldn't, but in this case, I am going to take a trade as it's pretty high probability we're going to take out this high. AUD USD was no trade. USD CHF was, yeah, this was a very good trade to take. AUD was no trade. Just let me double check. So we're going to take a trade on this one most likely. We've already traded into this FEG. I'm liking that. That's going to be our protective low, or we are going to basically create the protective low once we have traded more into this entire FEG. Stop loss below a protective low in that sense. I mean, not protective low, below some kind of low that is very nearby. And then, I mean, this even on the 1 hour chart is a protective low, as you can see. And from here, we're just going to take a trade. Now, potentially, I could have even set it right in here because we are probably going to take out this candle low, but it's okay. We can just take it like that. These were basically all of the 2 pairs that we wanted to trade for that day, right? And yeah, we're just going to let it run. Facts replay as always, just not responding. Like, I'm literally just pressing on my keyboard, spamming. It's not working. All right, this was not a take profit hit. Great stuff. And we're just going to go to the next day and see what's up. Now, probably for the high, right? Right from the start, Euro GBP. This was actually a very low probability trade to take, and probably also a stop loss hit if we're going to look at this, right? I can't tell. We'd have to measure it from the daily open, but this is not something that you would like to participate in. Once again, if you have avoided the trap, the next day is probably going to be more high probability. We have on the daily time frame the established movement lower. We have relative equal lows internally, externally. Probably we are going to go to the downside and continue. One thing that I don't like, of course, is that entire FEG, which you can see in here. This is the reason why it's not the best high probability trade, but still okay to take a trade, in my opinion. So we're going to see how this is going to look like. So we will be able to endure this entire FEG, so it's quite fine to take it like that. I'm just going to take it right away. I am already pretty confident in this one. EURCHF, what's that looking like? Daily time frame, probably to the high, but also this is not enough movement, right? The body closure has to be a little bit higher. Let me look under the 4-hour time frame. This previous FEG has barely even been touched. So this is recommending to me that we're going to go lower, revisit this entire FEG, rebalance it, and then trade higher again. So also no trade on that one. AUD USD actually looking quite fine, right? This entire candle has taken out liquidity, not on the daily time frame, such as this low, but on the 4-hour time frame, this was liquidity taken. We have our established movement. Candle is good to take. Now also relative equal highs. Just have seen that on the daily time frame. Problem as always, we have this massive FEG. Now in this entire backtesting session, we have a lot of this scenario where we are having an FEG that is speaking against a trade, but we can still handle it quite well, right? This one, I am willing to basically put my entire entry right at that FEG because we're most likely just going to trade onto it, right? It's going to be the position. Limit order, AUD USD, AUD CHF. This was a pretty good trade to take, pretty much the pair of the day. 4-hour time frame, no FEG. This is what I like to see. When you have no FEG nearby, right? The only FEG that you have is this one, which has already been traded into. So that's going to be basically protecting our position. Let me see what that is going to look like. Not going to refine the entry besides the take profit because this is already good enough of a trade. No need to refine it. Now stop loss, there's also nothing too close to it. So we're just going to put it right like that. Market order, just let it run. Our USHF too far away. We don't know. Previous day low, previous day high, probably for the low because of this FEG. But once again, we can't tell. Quickly, let me check. Not trade into an equilibrium. 100 reasons to take a trade, 100 reasons not to take a trade. So no trade. Let us see how is that going to look like. Are we going to get tagged in or not? So this trade would have been already a take profit, so we have to cancel it. Man, a lot of the times we're just going to miss like that. But I still think that it's worth it a lot of the times. This was not a stop loss hit, man. This entire month, June, was not the best to trade in, but it happens. So we're going to extend it to the next day. Previous day high probably. Now, we have been trapped basically in that one, but now I'm pretty sure we are going to trade higher. Relative equal highs. And let me see. We had, I think, one more trade. No, we didn't. Okay. Your GBP is going to be the first pair we're going to look into. I mean, this entire price action is pretty weird, but I'm still willing to take a trade on that one. I think that we're going to trade higher. Even though we have this massive BPR, I don't think that price is going to return another time. Pretty unlikely to happen in that scenario. I think we're just going to trade higher onto the upside. Stop loss below this one. EUR/CHF, how's that looking like? Previous day high. Has it been taken out or not? No, it hasn't, but also there's not enough PIF movement, so we're not going to take it. AUD/USD, basically we have been robbed on this entire trade, to be honest, right? Because we wanted to trade higher, but has that ever happened? I don't think so, right? It happens. So we're going to take a trade lower now. I don't think that we're going to get fooled another time. And we're just going to take the trade as it is right in here. Take profit right below the candle low. Stop loss can be refined a little bit, just like that. We're just going to take a trade as it is. AUD/USD was that. AUD/CHF has actually a take profit. Let me see AUD/CHF on the daily time frame. Can't tell. USD/CHF, previous day high has been taken out, so also no trade. So we're going to go to AUD/USD and see how this is going to play out. This was a straight take profit hit, and your GBP is also a take profit hit. Okay, so we are recovering. Perhaps now we're going to get the winning streak going. So previous day low is probably going to be taken out, not the previous day high. Let's go to USD/CHF. Most likely previous day low. We also have this entire FEG. This FEG has not been traded into, that's why it's confirmation. So we're probably going to trade lower. What I don't like, of course, is this massive BPR range. We might as well just use it as an entry, right? This entire BPR range is going to be traded back into one way or the other. Let me see how the trade will be looking like. So we are able to endure this entire price action, but also not pretty favorable for us to take, right? We have to do a little bit of modification, and this is okay to take it like that. If we are really wrong into the trade, then we'll just trade higher into this entire FEG, which is of course not favorable, but I'm willing to take a trade like that. Limit order, your GBP. We want to take a trade. Your GBP is even more extremes with the BPRs. There's too many BPRs in that sense. There's the difference between your CHF and your GBP BPRs. AUD/USD, how's that looking like? Probably for the low, but also massive FEG, right? So we have to pay attention. Let me see how the position will be looking like. By how much do we have to extend? By quite a lot. This is like 7 pips. It's not something that I like to take. AUD/CHF, let's go into the daily. I mean, probably lower. Let's go into the 4-hour time frame. Massive wick. Let me see how the trade will be looking like. We can endure this entire FEG, but not the second one in case it's going to get refilled completely. But I still think there's potential to trade lower, right, in this pair. We don't really have a BPR such as on your GBP or something, so we can also take the trade. Can we refine it? Not really. So we're just going to leave it as it is. Market order, USD/CHF. Probably for the high, but I don't really like this candle, so we're not going to take a trade on that one as well. So let's just see, let it run. So this is a take profit. Your GBP, your CHF, it's also a take profit, and I think these were all pairs. So next day, USD/CHF is looking way better. Pretty much the best day in 100 different days, right, that we have seen so far. We have established movement, we have the candle onto the upside, previous day high, also relative highs. Let's go to your GBP. Let's go to your CHF because there was no trade for us at least. Now your CHF has never hit take profit. Might as well just be better for us. We have still not traded into this entire FEG combined with the relative lows. So I still expect that to be happening. Now, even though we have this entire BPR range, let me see how the trade would be looking like if we wanted to take a trade. Yeah, I mean, if this is not going to hit take profit, then it's just going to be a very unlucky loss. It's just looking very well in that sense. Not to glaze the trade. Yeah, we really want to take this. Market order, then your GBP was not looking well, right? Was it? Okay. Already previous day high has been taken out. Previous day low has been taken out. Can't tell. USD/CHF was the only other pair. Now once again, we have the situation a lot of the times lately, right? Can't tell why. It's just how the price action is moving like lately in this entire backtest. Let me see how the position will be looking like. Extending the entire take profit by quite a bit. We would have to endure this entire FEG, and if it gets lower in here, then our stop loss is going to get hit anyways. So we're just going to take it as it is in here. So I just see how this is going to go. Let's take profit. Let's go to your CHF. It's also a take profit. What about your GBP? There was no other trade, right? This was a win. This was on another day. I forgot to remove it. USD/CHF, AUD/CHF. Okay, I'm just going to take it as it is. Let's keep on to the next day and go to your GBP. Now your GBP previous day high, obviously, right? We have also relative equal highs. We're going to take all of this liquidity. Then your CHF. Can't tell, we have traded lower, and now we don't really have the confirmation anymore. AUD/USD, probably for the low, not for the high, but we're going to look closer into that. Also in here, probably for the low, not for the high. and USD CHF. This entire pair is just moving in one direction until it's just going to reverse and then move in one direction again. But what I like about this, we have the relative close. Why am I counting this candle? It's because it has no wick onto the upside. Now previous day high is probably going to be taken out. Problem is just that we have this entire FEG, but it has not been traded at all. Right, and even lower. So there is potential to actually trade lower. Let me see how many pips is that. And that's quite enough for us to take, right? We don't even need that many pips to trade onto the upside. But I'm still not willing to take a trade on that one, to be honest. Right? It's not looking high probability enough to me. A previous day high, this was pretty much all pairs. Let me check it. Your GBP. We're going to take a trade in here. If this BPR, this FEG, not traded into it yet. So probably we are actually going to trade lower. All of these relative lows, I'm going to base it off here. So market order, your GBP, USDHF was no trade, AUD USD. Not really. I wouldn't be interested in that. FEG that is about to be created, and also this FEG and this FEG. Too many imbalances. So AUD CHF will be willing to take a trade on that one or not. We have the relative lows in here, and also the previous day low, but also quite a few relative highs in here. Let me see how the position will be looking like. How much will we have to endure? Okay, we can actually endure a lot of price action in here. Right, we would have to be very wrong onto the price action in order for our stop loss to hit. So we're going to take the trade also like that. AUD CHF, AUD USD, and yeah, on this one I didn't want to take a trade. Let's just see. That's a take profit. Great stuff. And your CHF, or I think your GBP, was also a take profit. Going to remove everything. Now we are going to go to next day. Previous day high, previous day low. Probably for the high, of course. We have the movement, but too many FEGs. That's what I don't like about it. Let me see how the position will be looking like. We're probably going to go for the previous day high, not for the low. But also we would have to endure this entire FEG, and also we have basically 3 FEGs. One of them is going to get hit, right? Most likely. Since this is too much of an imbalance, I'm not willing to take a trade. Let's go to UCHF. Look out for something in here. We have traded into this entire FEG, which is also a BPR range if you want it like that. So this is something that I like. Probably for the previous day high, not for the low. We have this FEG in here. We are going to trade into it most likely. Let me see how the position is going to look like. We don't even have to go to our previous day high. This is what I really like about the trade. It's also what we're going to take it just like that. We can even base it off from this entire FEG. Let me look at it closer. Yeah, we're just going to leave it like that. We're not going to get filled, and it is what it is. And this one, not really willing to take a trade. I don't know when it's just going to stop. That's my problem with this entire thing. And then trade higher. So since I can't tell that, I'm not going to take it. AUD CHF, no trade. AUD USD. Let me see real quick, because we have traded into FEGs, fill out imbalances. Also not really going to take a trade. Probably going to be a take profit hit. Let me see how the position will be looking like. Yeah, we would have to endure quite a bit of price action for us to hit take profit, right? So I'm not going to take it. BPR on the 1 hour time frame. Not really worth it for me. USCHF got entered into the trade. And that's a take profit. Nice. So we're going to go onto the daily time frame, skip the entire candle, and let's do like 1 or 2 more. Has the previous day low or previous day high been taken out? Yes, it has been taken out, so no trade for us. Your GBP looking quite promising, probably for the low, not for the high, but also just too many BPRs. Rather not going to take a trade. Let's go to AUD USD. This is what I like to see. This is also why I didn't take this entire trade, because I just don't know when it's going to reverse. Since it has reversed now it's time taking a trade. Told you many times, you're going to avoid the trap. Most likely the next day is going to be a trade. Equilibrium has not been hit. We have relative equal highs. We're going to basically break this down into pieces on the 4 hour time frame. You can see relative equal highs, 1 hour time frame. Right, on the 1 hour time frame, mainly just choppiness going on, besides this little bit of price action onto the upside. So we're just going to take the trade as it is. Now, let me take it just like that and see how the position will be looking like. You would have to basically overextend it to the previous day high by a little bit, but that's fine. Stop loss could remain in here. Let me check. 2-minute time frame. There's not really an imbalance to base it off from, so we're just going to put it like that. Market order. USD CHF. How's that looking like? Also probably for the low. We had the reversal going on. We have the established movement onto the downside. We are in this FEG right now, also something that I really appreciate about the trade. Probably we are going to trade lower. Stop loss above this high, and we're just going to take a market order. Let me see, how is this entire price action going to look like? Had we some kind of other trade that we wanted to take? UGBP, we didn't want to take a trade, I remember. This has already been taken out. AUD USD is a trade. AUD CHF. Why didn't we want to take a trade on that one? Was there a reason? Or have I just skipped it? Like, I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself right now. Price action onto the upside. I mean, I don't want to gaslight myself, but I'm pretty sure we want to take a trade on that one as well. All right, we're going to base it off in here. There's not going to be any more entry refinement. And we're just going to let it run. Let's monitor this one. Straight up take profit hit. Also straight up take profit hit. I think all of the all of those three were just a straight take profit hit, right? I already noticed that my concentration is starting to lag, so we're not going to further backtest. So yeah, guys, this was a long backtesting session for me. I'm going to take a break. It's very important. Don't overextend the entire backtesting session. If you noticed that your concentration is starting to lag, rather take a break and backtest later that day. Now, on this side of the screen, there's going to be another backtesting session or the masterclass, depending on what I'm going to put there. And it's going to give you more infos on how to trade this. If you still haven't clicked on the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what helped you the most out of this backtesting session.